the complete list of things that the General has done for us and our country, my speech would be longer than the keynote. General Felderman honorably served our nation in the Army National Guard, and the Air National Guard, retiring in 2010 as a Major General. His career culminated as a Joint Qualified Officer, Army Branch Qualified in Infantry, Cavalry, Medical Service Corps, Strategic Plans, Operations, and Aviation. His 35-year career included 10 years of active duty military mobilizations with over 20 years flying, more than 2,200 flight hours, and a final rating as Master Army Navy Aviator in helicopters. His final assignment was serving as Deputy Director of Strategy, Policy, Plans J5 with NORAD and U.S. Northern Command in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Again, it's my honor to introduce Major General Robert Felderman.
Good morning. Thank you very much for that kind introduction. It's been proud to serve this many years, and it's an honor and a privilege to be with you here today to memorialize those who died in 2001 in the attack on our homeland. There are many other memorials around Dubuque, around Iowa, and around our nation. And we are pleased that you chose to be with us here today as we talk about things that have changed in the past 10 years. What hasn't changed is that Americans sign an allegiance to provide safety, security, and possibly to give up their lives for what is best for America. What has changed is that today we have the lowest number of veterans in modern times. Less than 1% of our nation gives that allegiance and serves, providing homeland security to the homeland today. What has changed is that today we have the lowest number of veterans serving in Congress. What has changed is that today we have the highest unemployment among veterans and the highest number of suicides. What has changed is that today, because of what happened in 2001, we all know and understand that our national security is not negotiable. We also learned that we must not forget. With that in mind, I'd like you to remember a few things with me. As we think back in time to when we could fly a commercial airline with no name or personal information on our tickets, when we had the best economy in the world, when our national political leaders had the courage to do what is right for America instead of their own party politics, when a Boy Scout would build a bridge or a hiking path or a park for their Eagle Scout award, when we knew that the 3 R's meant reading, writing, and arithmetic, when music was listened on a radio or on a phonograph, when phones hung on a wall or in a phone booth, when there was a grocery store or a tavern on most corners in our town, when we didn't need to lock the door of the house or the car, when surfing was only done in the ocean, when firemen only fought fires, not bombs and terrorist attacks, and when policemen only arrested bank robbers or gave out speeding tickets, not arresting sexual predators and finding meth labs in our community. Life as we know it has slowly changed over the years, but our world really burst on September 11th, 2001, 10 years ago today. Our latest information says that approximately 3,497 people died in the attacks on September 11th. 2,735 civilians were in the World Trade Center. 87 passengers and crew members on the American Airlines flight number 11 that hit the tower, the North Tower. 60 passengers and crew aboard United Flight 175 that hit the South Tower. 343 New York City firefighters and rescue workers, and 23 New York City law enforcement officers, 47 Port Authority workers, 37 Port Authority police officers who lost their lives when they rushed in to save the victims of the World Trade Center. 36 passengers and crew aboard United Flight 93 who gave their lives stopping hijackers over Pennsylvania. 64 passengers and crew aboard American Airlines Flight 77 that crashed into the Pentagon, killing them and 125 that were serving in the Pentagon. And of course, the 19 cowards, the terrorists who attacked 4 airliners and murdered almost 3,500 people. Today, 10 years later, we memorialize those who were killed that day. And we still have military, police, firemen, and emergency management and rescue workers that put their lives on the line. That's what it's about today. It's not just about us. Not only do they continue to shed their blood, but many have given their lives for the citizens of Dubuque, the state of Iowa, and our great nation of the United States of America. While we know that the only thing that never changes is that things will always change, something that has not changed since 9/11 is that we still have Boy Scouts like Luke Barnsdorf earning their Eagle Scout badge. And today we have that one scout who has arranged for this memorial to be built for those that died on that infamous day 10 years ago. Personally, I see what one scout with an idea can accomplish, and we see it represented here today behind me. What a commendable and an awesome gesture. With this memorial plaza, Dubuque has reached across the cornfields of Iowa, the waters of the Mississippi, and across some of the best people who live here on earth. They really reach out and touch those who have lost their lives and those that are still grieving their losses today. And not only did Luke come up with the idea with some family members and friends, but he raised over $45,000 in funds to construct the Memorial Plaza project, which includes some steel from Ground Zero at the World Trade Center in New York. And of course, he shed some of his own sweat and time in seeing that it was constructed. Luke approached me earlier this year with a request, and today I am humbled and honored to have been able to make arrangements for a United States flag to have been flown over the Pentagon on Memorial Weekend. And that flag was flown especially for the tri-state veterans of Iowa, Illinois, and Wisconsin. Well, today I am proud to be able to present that flag that was flown over the third site that was attacked by those cowardly terrorists on that Tuesday morning 10 years ago in 2001. After I make the presentation, I have asked that we will symbolically raise the existing flag to full staff and then lower it to half staff in honor of those who died that day in 2001 and for those that have given their lives for our nation's freedom since it was founded. At the funerals of fallen soldiers, the Chief of Staff of the Army has directed that an Army general officer will present an American flag on behalf of a grateful nation. With that in mind, as I have done many times at funerals across America, in Iowa, Colorado, California, and now here in Dubuque, I will present an American flag for our tri-state veterans, and I ask that you show the respect that is due them as I make this presentation. This flag is presented on behalf of a grateful nation and the United States in appreciation for those loved ones' honorable and faithful service and in honor of our tri-state veterans that include our military, fire, police, and emergency responders with this flag flown over the Pentagon. Thank you, and please rise. We show respect for the flag of the United States. seas. Thank you very much for everybody for coming today. God bless our veterans. God bless the United States. Thank you.